Hey everybody, welcome back. We're back to do another mod to the Gladiator. We've got still quite a few things to do. As you can probably see behind me, we've got the custom graphics done. I'll show you that a little bit more later. But for now, while we've got some things torn apart, we're going to go ahead and get started on installing this set of ProComp RS6 rock lights. All right, so I got the passenger side fender laid out here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go fairly center over the wheel, which kind of putting this on kind of right where there's a indentation to signify which side, right or left, the fender is on. That seems to be about center, so I think I'm just going to go just behind that. So in between where the R is for the right side fender and then the part number stamped in, there's a nice flat spot. So I think I'm going to go right in there. So I'm going to try to put a piece of tape down here. We'll put the rubber isolator in and use that to mark the holes where we're going to actually drill it in. Go ahead and feed this wire through here. Alright, so the supplied hardware is a 3mm cap head screw with an Allen, 3mm Allen head, and a 8mm nylock nut. Alright, so there is the wire. Still got the little cover on it, but there is the rock light installed there. And then obviously we've got to deal with the wiring, but that's the first one actually installed on the fender. Alright, so I got all the rock lights mounted. There's underneath the front fender, straight down on the tire. The rear fenders I did end up removing, but they are right in there. They'll be shining straight down on the tire. And then underneath, kind of struggled to find a good place to mount these. What I ended up doing is just finding an existing hole and then just use self-tapping screws. So they are pretty much centered underneath the front doors. I did want to try to get them a little bit more centered underneath the vehicle, but just not a good place to do it without fabricating a whole bracket. So I just decided to do that for right now, at least. We'll see how I like it. So now we just need to run all the wiring, get all that connected. So we've got, each light has a positive and a negative wire hanging off of it, so we'll have to figure out how to run those, create a harness for it, and then bring it up to the S-Pod and get it all connected. Alright, so I got all my electrical stuff laid out, and I've got one of the rear fenders down beneath the table right now, the wire pulled up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using these Deutsch connectors to make connections at the end of each of these. What I'll do is I'll create a wiring harness that goes around to each one of the lights, and then we'll connect to the S-Pod. So we'll get started on this. So what we do is we just take these pins We've got a special crimping tool, so they will go over the wire. So now those are in there. We just take one of these locking tabs, and that's one connection done. Alright, so now I've got the connectors on all of the actual lights. Now I need to start running the wires and figure out where I need to build my harness. Alright, so I got everything hooked up to the S-Pod. Harness is made. I've still got to secure everything, but I want to do a test to make sure, so let's see how it looks. Alright, so we got all the rock lights installed on the Gladiator. Everything is hooked up and wired up. I've got some cleaning up to do on the wires, but the lights themselves are in and functioning. I've got a couple wiring things to do on the inside, but definitely making some progress here. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do, so hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. There will definitely be more content coming on the Gladiator Overland build. Thanks for tuning in.